Hi guys, welcome back to another video. We're finally starting the wedding series today, which I'm so excited about. So for those of you that are new or don't know, me and my husband now got married about 2 months ago, which was so exciting, and it was such a special day. And yeah, just excited to share this part series with you. So the first part will be all about the wedding and how we saved thousands on our wedding, and then the next one will be our wedding day regrets, and then the third and final one will be on how we planned our wedding in 4 months. So I'm pretty excited to share all of this with you, but just quickly, I am in this boring plain room and it is very windy outside today. So I do apologize if you can hear that, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'm in this plain boring room because we have a bit going on at the moment downstairs and it's just a bit hectic, so I can't really film down there at the moment. So I do apologize. This won't be a plain boring background for the next one, hopefully, but we'll see how we go. So the first thing I have for you is just a few tips, and there'll be tips throughout the whole video that I'll do. This is my third time filming this, so I'm hoping this will go smoothly and well, and I'll be able to upload it and it'll be fine. So there will be a few tips along the way as I kind of talk about everything and how we saved money. The first tip that I want to share with you guys is that everyone will save money on the things that they want to save money on. Other things that you really want to spend big money for, like maybe it's your wedding cake, where maybe you've had this amazing design for a wedding cake and you're like, no, I'm spending money on my wedding cake. That's a non-negotiable. Same with your wedding dress, maybe it's your venue, maybe it's your photographer, maybe a videographer, things like that. Everyone will have their big purchase item that they are going to love and need, and will set them up for the day, and then you can kind of go from there. You can set your budget from there. For example, ours was our venue. I knew if we had an incredible venue, then everything else will kind of fall into place, and I didn't have to worry too much then about decorations. So we chose a venue. I'm gonna say it was called a farm, that's for sure, but I think our theme was very like farm chic, I guess you could say, or rustic chic. I had a lot of pretty and romantic and beautiful things in there, mixed with something that's just really us, and that's down to earth, and that's kind of what we loved. We didn't want like this fancy Melbourne wedding, because that's just not us. That is my second tip. Make the day you guys. So down to clothing, the venue, food, all of those kind of things, make the day you. And that's what I loved about our wedding, was so many people were just like, wow, this is really like you guys. Like, it was so down to earth, so fun, and we didn't like have this restriction of particular clothing. Like, for example, Corey hates wearing wearing anything around his neck, and he's also not a suit person, so he didn't wear a suit on the day. He actually just wore a jacket, a shirt and pants, and then sneakers. And I wasn't going to make him wear a suit, because then he'll just be uncomfortable and then the day will just be really weird. So like, choose things that you guys love, and that's really you. Okay, firstly, I'm going to talk about the people at our wedding. So we only had about 60 people, so 30 either side. That's like my entire family is 30 people. And then his friends was a bit less than 30, so that allowed friends that are both of ours to come. But our venue that we chose didn't really allow for a ceremony, because it was in the same place. It was ceremony and then reception, so it didn't really allow for people to just come to the ceremony and then leave. So we didn't really allow that to happen. So everyone that was at our ceremony had to be at our reception, and we wanted a small, really intimate wedding. I would have loved to have a lot more people there, but it just came down to money. So we only had 60 people, so we had a small wedding. So we only had 60 people, which was a small wedding. The next thing was, we had my uncle be our celebrant. So he's a pastor, so he had done my cousin's weddings, and I just really wanted him to do ours. We also saved a bit of money there, because generally a celebrant is about $1,000 or $1,500, depending on travel and then getting there and how much time you're spending with them. So that definitely saved us a lot of money. Another one was our MC. The fact that people spend money on MCs just like blows my mind. We had Corey's friend Jaden be our MC, and he was amazing. He's so friendly, so happy all the time, and he's really good with people. So we were like, yes, for sure, he is our MC, and he did an incredible job. The next thing is our bridal party. So we only had one person each. So I had my sister as my maid of honor, and then Corey had his friend as his best man. That definitely saved us a lot of money on clothing and flowers and all those kind of things. But we used the people that we had already coming to the wedding as people that would be our celebrant or our MC or our DJ or those kind of things, where it makes it easier and you're also not spending money on an MC and a celebrant. So next up is our venue and decorations. Now, as I said at the start, you are going to place the most amount of money in what is most important to you. So we placed the most amount of money on our venue. Our venue was going to set the tone for the whole entire day, and everything else was going to set our theme, everything. So we had, as I said, a rustic farm type of venue, but also had a marquee. So it had so many different places that we could choose from. So it had a marquee, a barn area, a whole courtyard area, another like fancy bar area. So it was really cool that it had so many different options, and it had obviously lovely views. So that's something we wanted. We wanted something that was flexible if there was wet weather options. I really wanted like a clear marquee, which they had with all the fairy lights in it, which was stunning. Great, it was a perfect venue for us. So I was really glad that we went with that venue. I said our venue had a lot of different options, but they also had so many decorations and so many amazing places that you didn't need too much decorating. So they actually had a fire pit outside. They had all of the string lights and fairy lights. They had picnic tables. They had like the vintage chairs and lamps and wine barrels and bar stools and all of that. So we didn't have to go overboard with any of our decorating because there was so much of it already there. So honestly, I bought a table runner, candles, and I made a few things myself, and that's all we did. That is literally all I did. So it saved a lot of money of just like spending on decorating things, because at the start, I wanted to hire a whole bunch of stuff. But then when we found this venue, I was like, oh cool, they already have the vintage chairs and they already have these lights and they already have these signs and all of that. So I didn't have to worry too much about hiring, where it was gonna cost me a lot of stress and a lot of money. So another thing that I suggest doing, we had a lot of signs, and honestly, I just made the signs myself. If you have Canva or Word or anything, make the sign yourself, print it off at Officeworks, get a really cheap frame, and that's all I did. I had a lot of signs everywhere. Some of them I just made by hand because they were like just paper ones, and then the other ones I framed. So I had all of that sorted. So that didn't cost me much money at all. I don't know the rough amounts of everything. I should have written that down. But honestly, it's just so much cheaper that way. We saved thousands by doing just all of these little things. Okay, so let's talk about food. So my mum ended up doing a charcuterie or a grazing board for between the end of the ceremony and the start of the reception. Honestly, I wasn't going to have any food in between there because our bar opened like half an hour later or like 15 minutes later after the ceremony started anyway. So I was like, oh, do we really bother? But I think the time of day that it was, everyone was just hungry. And then for food, we didn't have this massive sit down fancy dinner, although that would have been lovely. I know everyone would have been nicely fed. It just really wasn't us. So going back to the beginning, making this wedding really us, I knew that wasn't us, and it also wasn't part of our budget, and I wasn't going to fork out. Some of these places cost like $300 a head for entree, main, dessert, and I just, no thank you. I was not going to do that. So we actually had a pizza van. So the pizza van came from Mornington Peninsula area, so we kind of had to pay for their travel and their accommodation, but they included that into our cost anyway, so I didn't actually notice it. And then the pizzas itself, so it was $27 a head, $27 a head for 2 hours of unlimited pizza, and it was incredible. So you got to choose 5 different pizzas. I will also link all of the vendors down below as well, so you guys can go check them out, and they might have photos on there, I'm not sure. So with the pizza van, you got to choose 5 different pizzas, and everyone would come up, order their pizza, and it was great. It was like 5 pizzas that you got to choose from for 2 hours, $27 a head. It was great, and there's a lot of different food truck options out there these days. I had always known I really wanted a food truck, so this was going to be perfect. Lastly, we just had our wedding cake as the dessert. I wasn't going to get a caterer in to just do dessert or anything like that, so we had our wedding cake and that was our dessert, and it was beautiful. Another thing was our thank yous. So I didn't want to initially do any thank yous because I just thought, you know what, it's just a waste of money and no one's going to use it, everyone chucks it out anyway. But then I thought, well, what if they eat it instead? What's another food thing that we could do? So anything out there that's like the midnight snack, or the hers and his favorite foods or snacks, or anything food related, I wanted to do that. So we actually had our friend Mel, who has her own small business in doing baking and particularly macaroons, and specifically macaroons. She's amazing at them. So I actually had her make our thank yous, which was great. She made like 60 or so of them. And we put them in like little bags, like clear cellophane bags. Her like branding sticker was on one side, and then I put our thank yous on the other side, and it just worked so well, and so many people loved them. We had a few left over and everyone was just obsessed with them. So if you can find, if you're not going to do like a full-on dessert or buffet table or anything like that and just have your wedding cake, definitely do something like a midnight snack for after the whole dessert time, and you're dancing and you're drinking and you want more food, trust me. Okay, next up is videography and photography. We actually didn't hire a videographer, to my surprise. Honestly, I had always loved watching wedding videos, even way before I even started dating anyone. I was just obsessed with them. I love the whole trailer thing that they're doing now. I love the music behind it. I love the letters that they open in the morning, and all of those things. I just think they're amazing. But when I realized the price of them, I was like, I just can't justify it. This is like, what if we don't watch it? So I know a few people and they have only watched it once and that's it. And I just couldn't justify it. Like, looking back at all my wedding photos, I'm kind of like wishing that I did have a videographer, but at the same time, it's a special day and it will live in our hearts and memories forever. So I'm not too worried about it. But our photographer was incredible. She has a small business of her own, which I definitely wanted to use. And she was amazing. She allowed for like a half day or a full day. So we actually had her for about 6 hours. So she came, she wasn't there early mornings, and she didn't end up going to visit the guys. So she only came when we were ready and like getting ready. So I was getting ready in my wedding dress and my sister had her dress on already. We had our makeup done, our hair done. So we quickly had some photos at home, and then we went to the venue. I had all of our photos there. Then she left. So basically when our reception started, we walked into our reception, cut the cake, had our first dance. And then after that, she took a few photos of us with our pizza van, and then she left. So it was pretty good. We only had her for 6 hours. Really great pricing, and she was just incredible, like better than I thought she was going to be honest with you. She was amazing. She was so friendly, so much fun to have there on the day as well. She helped out a lot. Next up is our flowers, or any other purchases that we made, like clothes, any of that. I wanted to be able to reuse, because I hate when you have a bridesmaid dress and it's a bridesmaid dress so you can't wear it again. Like, so that I don't like when that happens, because you spend so much money on this stunning dress and then you can't wear it again. And it's like, oh, great. That was a one-time day thing. And I know we'll get to the wedding dress in a second. But yeah, I didn't want that to happen, and I didn't want anyone to be uncomfortable or can't reuse anything, all of that. So my sister had a beautiful bridesmaid dress. It was this stunning silk dress, and I know that she can definitely wear it again, or else I'm gonna steal it for myself. Stuff that, as I said, Corey didn't wear a suit. He doesn't wear suits, he doesn't like suits, so he's not obviously going to wear a suit again. even after the wedding. So we bought like chino pants, sneakers, a white shirt and a blazer jacket. And we have a few people, some of our friends are getting married next year, so he can wear that to their wedding, or at least have a blazer jacket. And then the best man also had chinos, sneakers, and a white shirt, and then I also bought him a tie. And then there's like cufflinks and that kind of stuff, but they can be used for another time. But things that can definitely be reused, and so you can't just wear it once and then not have it again. So the other thing in relation to that is flowers. I actually went for dried and preserved flowers. This was the best idea by far, and I fell in love with it. So I actually came across her ad, it's called Blooming Zanzi. I actually came across her ad in Instagram, and I was like, those are the flowers that I want. I'm obsessed with them. They had the roses, they had the dried flowers, they had that beautiful, chic, rustic look that I was wanting. So I messaged her, and she lives in Queensland, so thankfully she could still ship to Victoria, and she did it perfectly, and it was just incredible. So we had two of the guys, like buttonholes or something, I don't know what they're called, but two of those, and they're really small, and they're just dried flowers. And then my sister and I had bigger bouquets with the roses, but currently mine is in a vase downstairs on one of our side tables, and it looks stunning. So I got to reuse that. And then with the bunny tails or the buttonholes, I have this really small vase, and so I'm going to put those in there as well. So just things that I can reuse and that I can look around the house and be like, oh, that's from our wedding, that's from our wedding, which is so cool. And then my sister got to keep her bouquet because I didn't throw it away. Yeah, just little traditions like that I don't like. Not when I spent money on something and I want it. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for decorations and other things. Okay, lastly, the big reveal of my wedding dress. So I actually bought my wedding dress secondhand from Still White. If you're aware of Still White, or if you're not aware of Still White, go check it out. It's basically all secondhand wedding dresses, and they're beautiful. They're not just some old vintage op shop dress. They're all just secondhand dresses. So they have Grace Loves Lace on there, they have Made with Love Bridal, they have Eternal Bridal, they have so many dresses on there. So I was very thankful that they had the dress I wanted, which was Lola by Made with Love. I knew that that one was going to be my wedding dress. I had fallen in love with Archie from Made with Love Bridal before as well. And honestly, when I went into, not the dress fitting, yeah, a dress fitting, when you're like trying on all different types of dresses, that one. It's not really dress fitting, but when you're trying on the wedding dresses, I tried on that one, and honestly, it was the only toss-up was between Archie and Made with Love. Lola was definitely my dress. Had a low back, spaghetti straps, like it was just starting like a little sweetheart neckline. Yeah, it was perfect. So I went into the store, tried that one on, fell in love with it, told her, oh, I'll keep looking, because that was my first and only place that I went wedding dress shopping. And then I had a look on Still White. There was a girl, an Aussie girl there from Brisbane, and she had the Lola dress. She was really tall. So she had done a few of the measurements for me, sent them off to me, and honestly, there was like a few centimeters difference everywhere. And with how tall she was, even by the time I had my heels on, it was still a perfect fit. So I got the dress from her. Went to our local sewist in town. She adjusted the straps because it was a little bit loose on the top. So she adjusted that, and that was like $30. So my wedding dress initially, if I bought it from the Made with Love site, it was going to be $3,500, and I got it for $1,500 or $1,200 or something like that. And then plus the $30 for the sewist. Yeah, so that's about it. And then the veil, we also did our own hair. My sister-in-law, actually, for her wedding, she had, her best friend is a hairdresser and her other best friend is a makeup artist. So she had both of them do her hair and makeup and everyone else's hair and makeup. So those are really good options as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of our wedding series and learned a lot from it. Definitely have a look at our vendors down below. I hope if you're getting married that you too can save thousands of dollars just by these little tips that I shared. Editing that here, I actually just realized I didn't even talk about the bar that we had. Basically, we BYO'd our own alcohol and our own mixes and all that kind of stuff, and we just hired bartenders. So we had to do it through a particular company because they have to have a registered off-site liquor license, and then you can use like any kind of bartender or any business or any company, restaurants that have that. We actually found ours because our venue was based in Geelong. We had the cocktail cart. They came, they had 2 bartenders, and we basically hired the bartenders and paid for their work hours, and that was it. And all the alcohol and everything else we supplied and bought ourselves. Our supplier for the alcohol was Dan Murphy's. So they have a really amazing deal. You can jump on the website and do it yourself. Calculate how many people you have and what alcohol you want, and then it registers how much you should buy. They have a policy where if you do not drink some of the alcohol, you can actually return it. So we bought $700 worth of alcohol, we returned it and got $400 back. So we actually only spent $300 on alcohol in total. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps me out. Yeah, and I hope you're enjoying these videos so far. I know that some of them have been a little bit dodgy. My last one didn't have music in it and I put music in it and I don't know what happened when I uploaded it. So having some issues uploading still, but hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, have a lovely weekend and I'll chat to you soon.